Well. Good morning. What is it? It's still morning. Yes, it's 11 o'clock here in what usually is very sunny Nova Scotia, but today it's a little bit dreary, rainy. So I thought, you know what? I'm just going to stay inside and I'm going to get a lot more of these photos edited. And that way I can share them more with you. And in the meantime, let me just check this here. Okay. Um, yeah, so I'm gonna be doing a couple of other things that I like to do as far as photo editing. So if you refer back to my previous two videos that I did on Picasa, which, and just so you know, I don't get paid. I'm not affiliated with Google products whatsoever. I'm just saying I love this product so much, and I just want other people to be able to use this. There's so many great photographers out there, but they don't realize how great they can be because they look at the picture and think, oh, maybe not, maybe not. It's not really the best. However, a simple free product like Google Picasa is going to help you immensely. Just not liking that camera angle. Talk about cameras. Yeah, so cloudy and it's really warm. Anyway, so today, what I'm gonna do is oops, I should share my screen here. I'm gonna share my screen. I don't know, I get so ahead of myself. And then, are we, okay, that's gonna be double. Let's go, yeah, let's go this one here. Too many screens to share. Okay. This is gonna look funny. Okay. There we go. Okay, so hopefully we're sharing that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open up Picasa. And these are the pictures that I want to edit. There's a couple of rules of thumb that I want to point out. And let me just get this up here. But before we go editing, I don't know if you watched the last one or the one before that, you'll notice up here that I have Picasa 3, and I do know that there's an update. I need my glasses for this one because as a photographer, you need to be able to see what you're doing. Help and check for updates. So we're going to go ahead and check for some updates. This may take, the application is up to date. There we go. So it's always good to check for updates. There could be some features in there that are really essential to the job that you're working on. All right, let's choose one. Let me see this one. Now I do have the model's permission to do this. So as you can see, she's very pregnant, ready to pop. So yeah, and actually I do know her, so she's ready to pop. Now, when you look at this, you think great photograph, great pose, great everything. But I, as a person who is obsessed with getting things absolutely perfect before I post anything or share anything, you always got to look at your background. Whoops, where did we go? Okay, there we are. I have a very touchy mouse pad here. Look at your foreground, your background. Now this, she did notice that she had this elastic band on her wrist. I didn't notice it, but when you have a model that is, very particular with the way things are going, make sure you listen to them. Don't just, as a photographer, don't just go in and say, I'm the photographer, we're doing things my way. no. You do have to respect what the model is saying. So I really don't see where this is a big problem. Um, if she's adamant that this has to go, then we can dodge it out. But I think if we were to go ahead and dodge that out, it would make a big mess. Whoops, where did we go here? I just want to zoom in on that. There we go. Whoops, there. Yeah, it would make a bit of a mess. Okay, as we're dodging that out. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna leave that in. Okay. First things first, let's crop it. Let's crop to our, I like current ratio just because of print shops out there. And, we don't need a lot of her legs in there. And the book in the foreground, I mean, I like the book in the foreground, but we don't need, it's not the focus of the photograph, so we don't need the whole thing. Let's go ahead and apply that. Yeah. If it says not responding, just hands off and wait, because the more you click on it, the more things that you're going to miss. Then Picasa will have a tendency to do all the steps all at once. And I'm going to, I'm going to, okay, I'm going to flood it with light, because when you fill it with light like that, and just be careful, you don't want to fill it too much because then you lose definition. So just be very careful with your flooding. You don't want to lose, see all these tiny little details, you don't want to lose those. And then you're going to bring up your shadows, and that's just going to bring up your contrast. And the reason I like to do that is because it gives you, so you fill it with light, and when you, so let me just show you here. If you undo that tuning here, undo, undo, come on. My computer is very slow. I uploaded a huge video last night, and I just forgot to, restart my computer afterwards. So that's what's going to happen if you bring up your shadows before filling it with light. Okay, it's going to be just too dark, and things, definition down here where the blacks are, they're going to be super black. Okay, and I want this to be a little bit of a higher key. This would be a high key if there was more definition in her face and no darker background or dark foreground. That would be high key. Low key is, oops, this is low key if her face was a little bit lighter. Okay, so I like to flood it first and then bring up some shadows. Bring up them shadows a little bit, just for a little bit more contrast. Might even bring up the color temperature too, just warm it up a little bit. Yes, I like that. Now, there's a couple of other things I see that need to be done. So my model has mentioned that she has a little bit of an issue around her belly button. She does not like the looks of her belly button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in. Oops, zoom in. I do have to restart my computer because I'm going to zoom in, get nice and close there, and you can see where there's there's a couple of spots there that she just wants to have those removed. And so I don't know if you saw where I went here, retouch blemishes. So that's going to be under your commonly needed fixes. So with these two little spots here, I'm not even sure what those are. I think they're moles. But you'll notice here, she's tried to cover them up with makeup, but the camera picks up so much. So I'm going to just click on one and go over and find something that matches the area. Click on it and go over and find something that matches, and then click again. And now you're going to see, let's just kind of, let's try and get a little bit more skin tone there. Get rid of that makeup that was there, just to, okay. And then the belly button isn't normally this red, but because her tummy is so big, you know, there's a little bit of you know, pressure on her belly button, so she wants that out. I'm going to select as much as I can without touching the belly ring itself. It may take a couple of tries just because one is darker than the other. It's like super dark. Okay. And the smaller the brush, harder it is to get those colors out. So just keep going, click on it, get some skin tone, click on it, get some skin tone. And as you practice that, you're going to notice that quite often it's going to be a little finicky. I mean, you know, there's no changing it really until there's another update. Okay. I'd like to get something really, really bright in there. What would happen? Yeah. See what happens when or even, you know, okay. So I think now we've gotten the redness out. Yeah, we've got the red out, and now it just looks like a shadow. Make sure when you're cropping out or when you're dodging out like that, don't make them sharp lines because notice I'm going to, well, I'm going to just show you something here. So let's say, let's try and do this just for the sake of it. I'm going to undo it anyway. So I'm going to select a patch there that I want done and go over there. It's going to try and match up the color as much as can, but there is some texture there. Let's try this. And now you can see the texture. So it is picking up the background color, but you can see that texture that just, you know, I just patched it from here to here. Now let's get rid of that patch. All right, and we're going to apply that. Okay, there were some other things I wanted to show you. Let's see, so we did the fill light. I thought about doing this in black and white, but again, black and white isn't for every picture. In my opinion, black and white means you're focusing on the picture, you're not focusing on the subject. So you have to be really, really careful with your black and whites. Not everything is a black and white photograph or artistic. You know, some portraits, and I'll show you, I do have another portrait that I want to use. I wanted to try the soft focus on this and just concentrate on the book. But yeah, that's not going to work either. I mean, I could go smaller, just completely concentrate on the book, but that leaves mom out of the picture. So what I'm going to do is come over to here, and I'm just going to soften it up. And you see that, see what that just did to that picture? So it took the sharpness out of the picture, because I will say that this is a baby girl, not that baby boys are any different really, as far as softness goes. But if you soften it up just a tiny bit, Now it feels a little bit more lighter. Okay, you get rid of the harsh, um, you know, those harsh lines that are here and here. You can soften it up even more. You don't want to soften it up too much because then it will look like it's out of picture, out of focus. You can fade it or you can take the fade away, but then it looks like a foggy, it looks like fog. So we're just going to soften it up a wee bit here, just a wee bit. Apply that, and I do like that. Here's something else. When I'm posting a photo on say Facebook or on my website, just to get people's attention. Sometimes what I will do, especially if I'm going to be selling that photograph, I'm going to put a drop shadow behind it. I don't know. Did you see where I went? Yeah. See, I go so fast. It's just I've been using this for so many years. It's just automatic. So I'm going to go drop shadow, and that's going to be in this tab here. Even more fun and useful image processing. Okay. So drop shadow, and you're going to watch down here along the edge. See that? So you're going to go distance. Let's bring up the distance a little bit. And again, it's going to take a second here. What you're going to see is the picture is slowly going to move off of your canvas, and it's going to move off of your canvas, and it's going to look like it is. Let's increase the size of the shadow. It's not going to work. Nope, where'd my angle go? Oh, see, there I go. I'm doing too many things at one time because it's automatic. So let's try that again. Drop shadow. Just give it a second to wake up here. Let's go with size first. And then we're going to go distance. Doesn't have to be a lot. And again, this is just a demonstration. It's there we go. There we go. Let's see. So you can see the shadow in behind. The picture has been sort of lifted off of your canvas. So try and imagine this now as a three-dimensional, not just a two-dimensional. Photography is all two-dimensional, and so the when you're working with it, that's when your 3D comes in, or your 3D effects. So let's angle that just a little bit. Okay, and it's going to give you, so yeah, so you can change the angle. I'm going to put the angle back so that it comes down. I like my shadows down at the bottom. There we go. You can also change the color of your shadow. I just typically use just the black shadow because that's more natural. If you want to change your background color, you can use something that coordinates with your picture. Okay. Let's give it a second here. Again, my computer's really slow. There we go. Okay. Okay. Let's try. I wanted a pink background. Let's try a pink background. Let's see what happens there. There we go. I mean, that's not really something I care for too much, but It's a little too pink. So you have to be very, very careful with your background colors if you're going to be using background colors at all. But I always like to suggest keeping your shadows as natural as possible. Um, because when you think about it, when you have natural sunlight, I mean your shadows, like around this room that I'm in, the shadows are not a different color because of the color of matte that I'm using. Okay, now I'm just gonna leave that there. I'm going to exaggerate the color is what I'm gonna do. Um, background color. Yeah, you know what? Let's pick up the color in the pants here. See what happens there. And then that just disappeared. Whoops. Let's pick up this color. That's a nice soft white. And the reason I'm showing you this, if you're going to be doing the drop shadow, the reason I'm showing you this is because you can also, after you do the drop shadow, you can also put a frame on it. And then this is just if you're going to be, oops, and see, oh, there's me again. So museum matte. You can do a border. Let's do the border first. So there's your border. Okay, and again, you can do any color. Outer thickness, inner thickness. Okay, and that's just, and what that looks like is a frame. Okay, a frame that you would hang on the wall. You can add a caption to it. So if you have some text or something, if you want to put her name down here, certainly put some text in there. There's a lot of different fonts that you can install onto your computer. So many different things you can do with font. You can round off the corners, corner radius. I'm not a fan of the corner radius. I like to have a nice sharp frame. But you can add a caption or you can remove the caption. I'm just going to go ahead and cancel that. And I'm going to show you what the museum matte is. So museum matte, inner thickness. Now look along the edge here. So this museum matte basically comes with its own drop shadow technique. So now what we have is, apply. Okay, so what you have here, this out of the way, what you have is you have a photograph that is lifted off of the canvas. So it's basically it's sitting, yeah, so it's sitting off of the canvas, and then your museum matte is also very dimensional. So if you've gone and you've seen professional, if you've gone to a gallery and you've seen those, you'll notice that the museum matte does have a little bit of a depth to it. And so that's where the shadow is going to come in. So now we can either have a flat border or we can have a museum matte, which gives you extra depth. And to me, that it makes it look a little bit more professional as far as presentation goes. So I'm going to undo the border and not responding because my computer is slow. Yeah, I have to reboot this. Gotta reboot. See, the rain has stopped. It's only one dog in the house today, so there's no interruptions. Okay, so I'm going to put a vignette on here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to decrease the size because I don't want it to be overpowering. Let's bring that up just a wee bit here. I don't want it to be overpowering. Take down the strength a little bit. No. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it as is. I'm also going to pick up a color. So yeah, like you said, you can pick up any color you want, but I'm going to pick up a color that's in here because I like to coordinate my things here. And there you go. I I like that. It's, to me, that's a very cozy looking picture. I like that a lot. So if you like this, if you want more tips, I know um, the next video, I'm gonna stop this video. I'm gonna do another one. And so the next one I do, I'm gonna show you the difference between when I take a picture that I'm not overly fond of. What I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to crop that, focus in on one thing. So take that picture that you were going to delete, and we're going to salvage it. And I like this. I like this photograph a lot. I really do. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. I'm going to save it on my desktop because I have another one that I have to give to our beautiful model here. Where are we? I'm just going to save it on my desktop. I'm just going to save it as, going to save it as my thumbnail. Okay. So when I upload the video, this is what the thumbnail is going to be. Save that. And we are good. So Picasa is updated. The next video you're going to see is going to be all about, we are going to salvage this picture right there. We're going to salvage that. Not overly fond of the pose. We tried, we really tried, but we're working with so many things that we had to just kind of scrounge up at the last second. But we're going to salvage either this one or this one, and I'm going to show you the difference between the two. So there we go. There's today's photograph. I love it so much, and if you love it, please let me know. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to put the in the description down below. I'm going to send you a link to my website. I have another website where I do tarot and Akashic journeys and all that fun stuff. So I will link everything just for you. Okay, let me just stop sharing here. There we go. Okay, I will see you in about 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, however long this video is. Okay, thank you for stopping in.